So at this point in time, I'm going to introduce our new coach, John Groce. John?
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Oh, put that on, man. I like it.
I hope it fits. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you. Obviously, our family is excited to be a part of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I really mean that. I'll talk more about that as we go along, but before we dive into Illinois, I do want to thank Ohio University. I want to thank the president there, Dr. Roderick McDavis, the director of athletics there, Jim Schaus, as well as the board of trustees there, the Athens community, and most importantly, the players who have a big part of why this opportunity exists for my family. And I can't thank them enough. I love those kids, and they'll always be a part of our family. But again, back to the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, I can't explain to you what the last few days have been like. The chance to be standing up here before you. From a fit perspective, as I looked at it from my family, being a guy from Danville, Indiana, about 107 miles, I MapQuested door to door. Route 36 here to Assembly Hall. Boy, it's hard to believe. You know, as a kid, I grew up watching Big Ten basketball, obviously growing up right outside of Indianapolis in Danville. And I remember watching Big Ten games on TV and coaches' shows and listening to Big Ten games on my grandmother's transistor radio. And I remember someone asked me the most vivid memory that I maybe had of Illinois basketball. It was of the Flying Illini. And it was I remember watching the game on television as vividly as I'm standing here today when Nick Anderson made the half-court shot to beat Indiana in Bloomington. I remember how athletic and truly flying up and down the court that team was, and obviously its trip to the Final Four. I think of the 05 team when I was at another school east of here, far east, in 05, and how good those guys were. And I remember one time a kid that played for us at the time, I was an assistant at Ohio State, saying, "Coach, I'm trying to chase D. Brown off of screens like you told me to, but he's really fast." And so I have certainly some fond memories of Illinois and of Big Ten basketball growing up. For me, when I mean a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it's exactly what I meant. I looked at it and said, I'm a little bit different than everybody else. You know, this was the first and only job that I interviewed for since I've been at Ohio. I'm a fit guy. You know, it was important for me that our family, we felt like we could plug into a community, be a vibrant part of the community. My wife's very active. She enjoys that role, as are my children, Connor and Camden. And we just felt like this would be a great community, not only to grow a basketball program, but to also raise our family. So that fit was really important. The second thing that stood out to me was that I thought to myself, Illinois, why not? Why can't we become the standard of excellence or a standard of excellence amongst those teams in the Big Ten, competing for championships, earning the right to do that? And by doing that, then you become a player on the national stage. It becomes a byproduct of that. And why can't we do that consistently there? And the answer was we can. You know, I kept thinking through that over and over the last 2 to 3 days. So the combination of the potential here at the University of Illinois with the fit, you know, made it that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity phrase that I used with you to begin our conversation here today. Before I answer questions, I want to recognize some people. Obviously, a very important part of the process is Dr. Easter, our president, Dr. Wise, our chancellor, Mike Thomas, our athletic director, the board of trustees, Jason Leonard, senior associate, as well as Mike DiLorenzo. Those guys and people certainly had a lot to do with me standing up here today. So we're very thankful that they've given our family this wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Illini family. I've also got a lot of family here who made the drive down Route 36. They're all down in here and up in here. I don't have time to introduce you to all of them because I know you guys have a lot of things to do today, so you don't have an extra hour for me to announce everyone that's here from hometown. But my parents are here. I do want to recognize them. My mother, Barbara Steele. Please stand, Mom. Stepfather, Jerry Steele. Jerry, you want to stand? My stepmother, Linda Groce. And my father, Larry Groce. So I do want to recognize them. Again, thanks for this opportunity. The last thing I'll leave you with before I answer questions is about in this area. Are the benches near here? Are they on this side? I'm kind of disoriented here, Kent. Is this right? This is right here? Okay. I just know a couple times when I've been here as an opposing coach, the orange crush made it very difficult to communicate in timeouts. So we expect you to continue to play that role. I know we've got one of the best student organizations and fan bases in the country, and we're so grateful for that, and I look forward to interacting with you guys. Questions, please.
Coach, first, congratulations and welcome right over here.
There you are. Okay, thank you.
Paul Clee from the News Gazette. You talked about a couple of years of Illinois basketball with the Flying Illini and then the 04-05 team. Those were kind of spurts when this was an elite program. How do you envision this program? Do you feel like that it's possible to maintain those standards of excellence like you talked about?
Well, that's going to be our approach. You know, and it started when I said yes to the job. You know, there's no question that I think this place, as I mentioned earlier, Paul, has tremendous potential. There's been a lot of great coaches and great players here. You know that as well as anyone. You study the history of Illinois basketball and what they've accomplished. It's a really special place. There's no doubt about that. From you know, I think about Coach Henson and those teams. Obviously, Coach Weber did a terrific job as well. Always thought his teams were very well coached as we prepared for them. And other great players and coaches. I think the challenge is exactly what you just said. And if I didn't believe that could happen, Paul, I wouldn't be standing up here. You know, I think the consistency over greatness line that Pat Riley uses all the time is what we're all looking for. And that's what we want to be about. And that's why I mentioned that vision of being a standard of excellence in our conference. And when you do that on a consistent basis, then you get the opportunity to be a player on the national stage regularly. And there's no question that that's the vision. I don't. I like the hat, Ken. I'm going to keep wearing the hat. Are you guys okay with that? Can I keep wearing the hat? Coach. Kent's just saying that because he and I share the same hairline. So.
Coach, Gail Fisher, Comcast Sportsnet in Chicago. Clearly there's been a lot of discussion in the Chicago area about your hire and whether or not you have ties or connections with some of the high school coaches in the Chicago area. Clearly you know the Big Ten, having recruited for Thad Matta at Ohio State. How do you envision, though, getting your name out there and meeting with some of these other coaches in the Chicago area?
Well, we have some previously established relationships that are going to be important. And, you know, obviously I was fortunate. One of our better players that I coached at Ohio was the kid Cooper, who's from Chicago. And then I had the privilege of coaching Evan Turner when I was at Ohio State as an assistant. And obviously Chicago's rich in talent, has terrific coaching. There's a lot of people in that city that care about those kids that, you know, we're going to have to work at to connect with. But like I said, we already have a lot of previously established relationships there, more than what people think. But I'm looking forward to getting to know those guys even better than what we do, and getting to know some of the coaches there that we need to know better. And we're looking forward to doing that. So I understand how important that area is. I think, we're thrilled that Chicago's in our state. That's great. I mean, that's excellent. And we've got to make sure that we do the very best job of taking advantage of it, and make sure that the Illinois brand, if you will, is loud and clear in the city of Chicago.